right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. March 2026 is a milestone year for a Clinton business. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson told the Heart Media Group that it was March of 2016 that they broke ground on their current location.
Yeah, well, 10 years since we actually had the groundbreaking in March. And then in April, not sure the exact date, is when we actually started digging. Nelson Excavating was out there with their equipment and started digging the foundation for the store, which will be open 10 years as of November 30th of this year. So it doesn't seem possible, but here it is. It's 10 years in this location. So it's been quite a amazing journey to get to this point. Thing that I point out in my Facebook posts, I'm proud of a lot of things, but I'm just incredibly proud of the fact that this was a local building built by local businesses, and so many times businesses and government agencies in Clinton and DeWitt County, and not all of them, but just too many of them, when they want to have something done, they immediately look to the outside. And instead, they're tripping over contractors and qualified companies and qualified craftsmen that could do the job and support people that live in the community. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I was very focused on keeping it local. So Waters Construction was the general contractor, and we used Sessions Electric and a lot of other local people. The store was built almost 100% locally, with the exception of trades that we just did not have in Clinton, like block layers. It's a testament to these skilled folks that built this building. And if you look at it, I have people come in here to this day and they think it's brand new. But that was my goal, was to make sure at the 10-year mark, the store looked like it just opened.
An investment in the facility that has proven to be beneficial for Jackson is a generator. He indicates they recently replaced that unit, and it has been a huge asset to them since the old one was installed.
Our generator, I've probably been in 1,000 stores in my lifetime, and I've been in every store in central Illinois, most of the state, and no other store except I think it's Bill's IGA in Staunton has a generator, and that was the only other store. And I actually went and visited him, and that's what prompted me to put a generator in 2011 at the old store. We moved it here, and it actually the generator had to work less to run the store when the power was out, because this building is so efficient. It was slated to be replaced this year. Well, on February 24th, they decided it had it, and it basically blew up. We're lucky it didn't literally blow up. It died on February 24th. Mm-hmm. So we already had in the works to get a new generator from CAT, and we got it installed on March 20th. So we went 24 days with no generator, which, of course, during that time we had to have a couple storms that were scary. Anyway, the generator's installed, brand new, and sitting there just waiting for the next situation, like what we ran into last year. Our generator ran our store for 20 hours straight, and we were the only store in Clinton open. Mm-hmm. Everything was closed. And the year before, we had a 16-hour outage. Selfishly, we put this generator in so that we don't have to unload cases and then load them back up. But the other thing is, we're here to serve the community. We're open. We don't have to worry about the weather. And it's a natural gas generator, so we've got a good, fuel supply. and we just don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about the power was out for a few hours and what's the quality of the product and been sitting in the store, not refrigerated or frozen. So we're very, very fortunate, and we put a lot of thought into installing this, and I'm very, very thankful that we did.
Jackson adds that the solar panels on top of his store have helped him keep energy costs down, a big win for his operation as energy costs and overhead costs have increased with minimum wage increases in recent years. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, Lincoln Mayor provides update on Route 66 Centennial celebration. A recent issue with the sewer line in Farmer City ended up working out as the city looked to address an ongoing issue. Taylor Baxter is the city administrator for the city of Farmer City and indicates that the sewer line in town had some issues they were trying to address. In what kept turning into a dead-end process, they ended up coming with a very streamlined solution.
We have a sewer lining project and a water main replacement project happening in Farmer City on Washington Street. And when we started digging in a little bit more and televising the sewer line, there's actually concrete in the bottom of the manhole, 15 feet each direction. We're like, what in the world is like, that should not be there. So we have no clue how it got there. Regardless, it is what it is. They started chipping away at it, and it was like 2 days worth of work, and it was like 16 grand, and they're not making any progress. We're like, okay, we need to stop and figure this out. So we went out to bid for somebody to come in and actually replace the entire manhole and replace the pipe, basically 30 feet. And the company that actually won the award was Cross Construction, and they are the ones that are doing the water main replacement. So in all reality, this was a home run because they're going to be able to work on both that and the water main. Their equipment's going to be there. They're going to be able to coordinate within themselves of how to do this and what the best time frame is. So all things considered, a bad situation turned out to be pretty good. Granted, we have to spend some more money on it, $56,000, but it's going to get the job done properly. It's going to be a brand new sewer line for some of the portion of some of the worst parts, and we're moving forward with it. So,
a project in Farmer City that should see dirt moved this year is the Safe Route to School renovation of sidewalks along Route 54. Baxter reminds that this will provide the youth of the community with updated sidewalks to get to schools in Farmer City.
We have a Safe Route to School sidewalk project that we're doing to make it safer for kids. So that's a great thing. It's an awesome project for Farmer City. Just the next step in the project is approving the phase 2 engineering for Maurer Stutz to complete the engineering portion of the sidewalk project. One interesting thing that we had to adjust on this is amending the phase 1 agreement because there was some extra work that our engineers had to do because one of the sidewalks is going over a bridge in town. So there was some unexpected delays and work that needed to be completed with that. So all is well. We're moving forward to the next phase, and we're hoping that we can get this project started this year too.
Baxter returns to the WHOW Morning Show next week on Tuesday, April 7th at 8:30 a.m. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
News time is 18 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Like many other central Illinois communities along Route 66, the city of Lincoln is working hard to prepare for this year's Centennial celebration. Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch explains that the city was awarded a grant of over $400,000 by the Logan County Tourism Bureau and the Illinois Tourism Department. These dollars will be used to enhance the Route 66 museum they are working on.
We've been doing a really good job of preparing for the Centennial celebration and tourism. As you know, we've talked about that in the past, about the city taking over at least the city tourism initiatives. And so a lot of good stuff going on. We got a $411,000 grant through the Logan County Tourism Bureau and Illinois Tourism. So we're putting that to good use at the museum. Going to have some more attractions. We're getting a 12-foot copper penny, like the donut, and we're shooting for that May 1st opening of the museum. So a lot of good stuff going on. Obviously, the museum will never really be completely done, but I think the attractions that Mr. McCoy is building out inside of there will be a really, really good start. I mean, they really include just giving you kind of some feelers. Obviously, the train exhibit we've talked about, the Route 66 experience across all 8 states with John Rue's train exhibit. We're going to have sort of a glimpse into what the workshop looks like for the guy who creates all of the giants that you see throughout the country in Route 66, Mark Klein, and maybe a sneak peek of a phone booth exhibit. We're going to touch and feel on the Al Capone aspect and his relation to the city of Lincoln. We're trying to hit a lot of things in there. I think it'll be really good.
While the city's Route 66 celebrations efforts consist mostly of the museum, Mayor Welch is encouraging the community to participate in community events to honor the milestone. He notes that the city is planning a 4th of July parade for America 250, which goes hand in hand.
From the city's perspective, we talked about this earlier about having a lot of irons in the fire, and we do. And so the museum and the economic development incubator and things, those are things that we're doing, but we're also encouraging people throughout the community to get involved. Like one of the examples is there's an old gas station down on 5th Street, and they have a Route 66 mural. Mr. Richard owns that, and we're doing what we can to help him as part of the grant money to redo that mural so people will stop in. So we're doing our part to partner with other people, but to your point, with the 250th year celebration going on, we're planning like a 4th of July parade. Just was approached yesterday about doing maybe a celebration downtown, get a band, block some roads off, stuff. So
in the museum's building, there will also be an economic development incubator. The mayor says things are starting to get moving on that front as they work to bring occupants into the building.
We do have an economic development center, and we have people that are at least operating out of there now, and we have people using the conference room. We're working on our first occupants of our incubator space, and that's pretty exciting. So a lot going on, and you're right. Route 66, it's about economic development as well. We want to get people into Lincoln and get them to stop. We also want them to, in addition to seeing the museum, visit our businesses, our shops, get out and look at the other attractions, meet people. I mean, there's a lot to do in Lincoln.
Mayor Welch feels that the community is excited to welcome tourists into the town to celebrate the milestone. He feels that towns along Route 66 should be working together to represent Central Illinois well.
I can tell you that a lot of people in Lincoln are really excited. When we started talking about the museum and people started seeing activity over there, we had a lot of people reaching out, stopping by the building. Just saw a video the other day of tourists that are stopping at the building, trying to look in. They're curious as to what's going on. So, the word's out in Lincoln, Logan County, but the word is out on Route 66 as well. There's other Route 66 components, not just here in Lincoln, but throughout the county. And we should all be working together to really put our best foot forward for each other and make a good experience for those people that are coming in and traveling Route 66, not just people here in the United States, but you're right. A lot of people fly into Chicago, they start their journey there, and they end up at Santa Monica Pier out there in California. We're doing everything we can to get people here.
The Route 66 Museum in Lincoln is set to open on May 1st. It's everyone's favorite time of the year, pothole season, and leaders from the Illinois Department of Transportation are working around the clock to fill the holes. According to Paul Wapple, IDOT spokesman, crews are out on state highways and interstates.
The crews doing these, they're the same ones that are out picking up litter. They're the ones that, plow, remove the snow and ice throughout the winter. And when the temperatures rise, you'll see, more concerted effort. But, it is that time of year right now. And if they're non-emergency patching operations, those take place during the non-peak travel periods and sometimes require temporary lane closures. But we're patching potholes wherever we see them. And certainly if there's a major hazard, we address that right away. Yeah, anytime you see a work zone sign or a barrel or a barricade, anything, please, slow down, go the posted speed limit, because pothole patching operations are work zones. They're work zones for our crews and any other crews out doing that. So be on the alert for orange trucks and reduce your speed. Move over so crews have room to work as well, and pay close attention in flaggers and signs. And like I said, obey the posted speed limits, please. Thank you.
For those encountering crews filling potholes, Wapple says drivers should slow down and move to the other lane. To report a pothole on an interstate or state highway, Wapple says drivers are encouraged to call 1-800-452-4368 or visit idot.illinois.gov. Illinois Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski says she is part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers in Washington, D.C. that are trying to improve the postal service across the country. She recently called on Postmaster General Dave Steiner to address failing USPS delivery rates that have impacted rural communities in her district. Budzinski questioned why the postmaster has continued to implement the Delivering for America plan when the initiative has been proven to worsen on-time mail delivery rates and slow outgoing mail in rural areas.
In fiscal year 2019, the on-time delivery for two-day first-class mail was 92%. 6 years later, and this is in my district, it's down now to just 83%, with areas like downstate Illinois consistently seeing on-time delivery fall below 80% and even 70% at various points in 2024 and 2025.
Steiner responded that a major issue, especially in the Chicago to St. Louis to Memphis corridor, is staffing. What does USDA's March quarterly hogs and pigs report show regarding the nation's hog inventories, and what might this mean for pork supplies both now and in coming months? Now for your local obituaries. Cheryl M. Aggie, 59, of Maroa, passed away at her home surrounded by family on Sunday, March 22nd. Memorials may be made to the Maroa Forsyth High School baseball program. Graveside services will be Saturday, April 25th at 11 a.m. at the Maroa Township Cemetery. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news is now.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The U.S. and Israel continue trading blows with Iran as the war rages on. An Iranian weapons site has been hit with a massive bunker buster bomb. Israel has pummeled Tehran, while Iran fires on an oil tanker off the coast of Dubai. Prices at the gas pump are up $1 in the past month, according to AAA, which puts the national average for a gallon of regular just over $4 as of this morning. President Trump predicts that energy prices will tumble once the war is over, and he says that should happen soon. Israel's parliament has authorized the ultimate punishment, the death penalty, for Palestinians convicted of murdering Israelis in the West Bank. President Trump's executive order paying TSA workers, resulting in much shorter airport security lines. On Wall Street, the Dow futures 344 points higher. More details, srnnews.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Chance of thunderstorms today, otherwise cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Daytime highs approaching 79. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Thunderstorms likely tonight, lows level off around 44, cloudy skies expected. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 65 degrees.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Jax Bailey broke a scoreless tie with a solo home run, then finished off a 4-run inning with an RBI double. Back 5 scoreless innings from Matthias Rudolph as Monticello beat Lincoln 5-1 in non-conference high school baseball action on Monday in Monticello. Monticello's Rudolph and Lincoln's Carson Footen traded scoreless innings into the 5th when Bailey ended the Railers' right-handers shutout with a blast to left center field to put the Sages up 1-0. Monticello took a commanding 5-0 lead in the 6th inning when Coy Williams and Bailey hit RBI doubles. The Railers got their only run in the top of the 7th when the game was out of reach. Rudolph danced in and out of trouble most of the afternoon, but finished 5 innings of shutout ball, allowing 4 hits and 4 walks. Bailey, the State Bank of Bement player of the game, was 2 for 3 with a homer, a double, and 2 RBIs. Dawson Gatros was 2 for 3 with a run scored, and Williams and Cole Bassick each finished 1 for 3. Footen went the distance for Lincoln until his home run allowed to Bailey in the 5th. The right-hander had set down 10 of 11 batters after allowing the first 2 runners of the game to reach. He struck out 1, walked 1, while permitting 5 runs on 6 hits. The Rail Splitters go to 5-3 overall. They visit Chatham Glenwood on Tuesday. Monticello remains unbeaten at 8-0 overall. They visit Tri-Valley on Tuesday. 4 errors proved to be costly, and Limestone blanked Normal West 4-0 in non-conference high school baseball action on Monday in Normal. Ty Backman allowed 4 runs. 1 was earned in 6 innings for the Wildcats. He struck out 6, walked none, and permitted 4 hits. Backman was also 2 for 3 to lead Normal West offensively. Normal West goes to 2-3 overall. They visit Decatur MacArthur on Thursday. Miguel Vargas hit a grand slam and drove in a career-high 6 runs. Austin Hayes hammered a 3-run shot, and the Chicago White Sox beat the Miami Marlins 9-4 on Monday night for their first win of this season.
First victory of the season for the White Sox, and the first win goes to Davis Martin. A couple of long balls in this one, a 3-run shot by Austin Hayes, and a second straight game with a grand slam for the good guys. This time it was Miguel Vargas doing the blasting.
Swing and a fly ball well hit to left. It is a grand slam. Miguel Vargas in front of friends and family.
The 4th time in franchise history that the Sox have hit grand slams in back-to-back games, and the first time since the Sox did it way back in 2006 when they actually hit a grand slam in 3 straights. Can the Sox make it 3 straight games with a granny this season? I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage of White Sox and Marlins at 5 p.m. on Tuesday on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
Chicago right-handed pitcher Eric Fetty starts Tuesday against right-handed pitcher Jansen Junk in the middle of the series. Edward Cabrera pitched 6 shutout innings. Ian Happ hit a solo homer, and the Chicago Cubs beat the Los Angeles Angels 7-2 on Monday night. Cabrera allowed 1 hit and walked 1 in his Chicago debut, delighting the crowd of 36,702 on a picturesque night at Wrigley Field. The 6'5" right-hander was acquired in a January trade with Miami. Carson Kelly and Moises Ballesteros each drove in 2 runs for the Cubs in the opener of a 3-game series. Yoan Moncada hit a 2-run homer for the Angels in their 3rd consecutive loss. Ryan Johnson allowed 6 runs and 7 hits over 3 1/3 innings of his first career start. Angels star Mike Trout went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts after collecting 6 hits and walking 7 times over the first 4 games of the season. Johnson struggled with his control at first, walking the bases loaded. Peter Armstrong reached on an 11-pitch walk ahead of Nico Horner's sacrifice fly. Kelly made it 3-0 with a 2-out fly ball that landed just out of reach of a lunging Trout in shallow right center for a 2-run single. The Cubs added 3 more in the 3rd. Happ extended his homer streak to 3 games, and Ballesteros grounded a 2-run single into right field. Cabrera struck out 5 while throwing 80 pitches, 49 strikes. Colin Rea worked 3 innings for his first save of the season, striking out Moncada with 2 runners on for the final out. Right-handers Jose Soriano and Jamison Talon start on Tuesday night. Soriano pitched 6 sparkling innings in the Angels' 3-0 win at Houston on opening day. Talon will be making his season debut for the Cubs. Bo Bichetti drove in 2 runs after a rough opening weekend, sparking the New York Mets to a 4-2 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals on Monday night. Clay Holmes pitched 5 2/3 effective innings in his season debut, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks. He struck out 5. Devin Williams, a St. Louis native, worked a 1-2-3 ninth to convert his first save opportunity with the Mets after signing a $51 million 3-year contract as a free agent. Williams is replacing star closer Edwin Diaz, who left for the LA Dodgers in free agency. Jorge Polanco and rookie Carson Bench each had 2 hits for the Mets. New York banged out 10 hits but stranded 11 runners. Kyle Leahy pitched into the 6th inning for St. Louis in his 2nd career start and first at Busch Stadium. Leahy gave up 4 runs on 8 hits and 2 walks. He is moving from the bullpen to the rotation this year after starting the final game of 2025. Alec Burleson had 2 hits and an RBI for the Cardinals. Nolan Gorman hit a solo home run after hitting one Sunday for St. Louis. The Mets extended their lead to 4-run with 2 runs in the 6th. Jared Young doubled home Brett Beatty, who led off with a single to Chase Leahy. Cardinals reliever Matt Swanson loaded the bases with a hit and a walk. He walked Juan Soto on 4 pitches to force in a run before retiring Bichetti on a line drive to right. Bichetti, booed Sunday by Mets fans at Citi Field, drove in his second run of the game in the 5th. With 2 outs, he singled to right to score Benji, ending an 0-for-10 slump. Bichetti is 2 for 19 with 8 strikeouts. He joined the Mets as a free agent in January, signing a $126 million 3-year contract after helping the Toronto Blue Jays reach the World Series last season. Francisco Lindor led off the game with a triple to the wall in right center and scored on Bichetti's groundout. It was the second triple in 2 games for Lindor, who didn't have any in 160 games last year. Cardinals right-handed pitcher Andre Palante will face Mets right-handed pitcher Kodai Senga in the second of a 3-game series on Tuesday. Victor Wembanyama had a season-high 41 points and 16 rebounds while collecting the fastest double-double in NBA history, and the San Antonio Spurs won their 9th straight, defeating the Chicago Bulls 129-114 on Monday night. Wemby had 10 points and 10 rebounds in his first 8 minutes, 31 seconds on the court, collecting his 10th rebound a minute 55 into the second quarter. Jim Washington of the St. Louis Hawks had a double-double in 9 minutes against the New York Knicks on March 6, 1966. Wembanyama punctuated his season high with a driving one-handed dunk for his final points midway through the fourth quarter. He was 17 for 27 from the field and 3 for 6 on 3-pointers and scoring at least 30 points for the 14th time this season. Stephen Castle added 21 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds for San Antonio, which has won 9 consecutive games. Bulls point guard Trey Jones had 23 points in his first game in San Antonio since being traded to Chicago as a part of the deal that brought De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Leonard Miller added 21 points, and Colin Sexton had 20 as the Bulls lost their 4th straight. San Antonio has 6 players score in double figures while extending its lead to 29 points in the third quarter. The Bulls took the court 2 hours after waiving Jaden Ivey for conduct detrimental to the team. Ivey, who was injured, did not travel with the team during its 4-game road trip. The news didn't impact Chicago early as an uncontested one-handed slam by Mattis Buzelis gave the Bulls an early 5-2 lead and led to an angry timeout by Spurs coach Mitch Johnson 71 seconds into the game. San Antonio responded with a 20-13 run fueled by the start of Wembanyama's early double-double. The Bulls host Indiana on Wednesday, while the Spurs are at Golden State on Wednesday. Adam Gaudette scored with 21 seconds left. Alexander Wenberg and Macklin Celebrini each had 2 goals and an assist, and the San Jose Sharks beat St. Louis 5-4 on Monday night to snap the St. Louis Blues 3-game winning streak. On the rush, Gaudette flicked a wrist shot from near the left faceoff spot that trickled between the legs of goalie Joel Hofer. Yaroslav Askarov made 22 saves for the Sharks, who have 75 points, tied with Seattle and 2 behind Nashville for the final Western Conference wildcard. Los Angeles has 76 points, while St. Louis has 73. Theo Lindstein, Pavel Bunchnevich, and Philip Broberg and Cam Fowler scored for the Blues, and Jake Neighbors had 2 assists. Hofer finished with 24 saves. Fowler scored a power play goal to make it 4-all with 7 minutes and 7 seconds left when he took a wrist shot from the right side that beat Askarov to the glove side and slipped inside the left post. The 19-year-old Celebrini, the number 1 pick selection in the 2024 draft, has 38 goals and 63 assists, making him the 6th different teenager in NHL history with at least 100 points in a season. The Bulls visit the LA Kings on Wednesday, while the Sharks host the Anaheim Ducks on Wednesday. From scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Kansas City Royals beat the Minnesota Twins 3-1, while the Texas Rangers took down the Baltimore Orioles 5-2. The Cincinnati Reds shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates 2-0, while the Washington Nationals routed the Philadelphia Phillies 13-2. The Colorado Rockies beat the Toronto Blue Jays 14-5, while the Atlanta Braves shut out the Athletics 4-0. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the Milwaukee Brewers 3-2, and the Houston Astros beat the Boston Red Sox 8-1. The Seattle Mariners beat the New York Yankees 2-1, and the San Francisco Giants beat the San Diego Padres 3-2. The Cleveland Guardians took down the LA Dodgers 4-2, and the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the